We are live.
Groovy, baby.
As usual, I don't know if we've got any audio, so I better check that. Oh, we have.
Okay.
I believe we have. Unbelievable, Daniel.
Wow. Well, there we are. Look, it's all happening. Nice. Greetings, everyone. Hope we are all awesome.
Yeah, I believe we're live.
We are. It's all happening.
Nice. Everyone can hear us?
Yes, audio's all good. Thanks, Steve.
Happy days.
Thank you, BV.
Thanks, BV, for being with us today, and sorry about the timing confusion. Groovy. That's about straight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot my tea strainer, which isn't so good for my tea.
Your tea strainer.
Yeah, for my tea.
Oh, what are you talking about your mustache?
That's one word for it.
Oh boy.
Hello, everybody. Right now, I need to get. I've been delayed today, Daniel. I'm sorry to say.
It's okay.
I was trying to finish something and didn't finish it.
Okay.
And even though I knew I
Tell.
wasn't going to finish it, I spent 15 minutes longer trying to finish it than I should have done.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I've been at this computer since about 7:30 this morning.
Hello. I
And
think we got a problem.
I am on the home stretch,
Yeah.
I believe. Well, sort of. I've done the
Oh, thanks.
song bit's done.
Tea strainer.
Tea strainer.
So
As if by magic.
why don't you explain what you're doing then, Dan?
Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be putting out a vlog. Basically, I've done a 2-week practice challenge, but there'll be 2 videos going up tomorrow. So one is the whole vlog. It's it's sort of there's lots of. It's an insight into the practice, the techniques I'm doing. There's a couple of challenges in there. My daughter's doing one and I'm doing the other. But the other video is just we're releasing. It's just the song that came out, and we were very, very fortunate, and that we've got some really good friends who are also really talented. So it's just basically, I did this. I've been working on playing the changes, right? Working on playing over 2/5s and minor 2/5s and that sort of stuff. And so it did this sort of a gospel version of the changes from Nothing from Nothing. Anyway, we've got Dougie on drums, we've got Andy Timmons playing guitar, we've got Joey on guitar, Mick and myself. And we've also got Adam Neely playing bass on it. And we also have got Jack Duxbury playing keys. So it's really, really cool. So that will be up tomorrow at some point.
Are you mixing the audio?
Yeah.
Awesome. We should get
I've
Fraser.
got no idea what I'm doing, but it sounds really good.
We'll have to get Fraser to do a critique for you.
Okay. Or not.
So the idea
It sounds really great.
The idea being, everyone's playing over this track.
Yep.
And the idea is, what can we learn about those bunch of very serious chord changes?
Well, yeah, it's just because it is those changes happen so fast. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to hit all the changes as part of this practice thing that I've been doing. And everyone else is sort of unleashed and sounds amazing. But I'm just consciously, and it's taken me, I've been practicing between 2 and 3 hours a day for a couple of weeks, just working on this, trying to get this together. And it's so challenging. But I sort of got there in the end. Yeah.
How many changes did I miss?
No, you nailed it. But so it's so melodic, and that's the beauty of this tune. You can actually play pretty much one change over the whole everything, like C, except for that E change.
Yeah.
But then you can go between the C minor and major pentatonic stuff. But you play beautifully, man. You like you're really hitting the important notes is lovely.
Thank you. I did. It was really hard. I had to sit there. Actually, are we going to have a? Well, let's do a post-mortem on the video.
Okay.
Because that's what I think. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever played.
Right. Wow.
I would say
definitely the hardest thing I've ever played.
Okay, so more of that tomorrow. You can come and laugh at our efforts tomorrow on this here channel. Right then. So, Dan Pfeiffer. Hi, Dan. Dan says, word up from Minneapolis. Hi, Dan. Word to yourself. Alan Bartlett says we're groovy. Indeed, the feel button says, yep, we're working. Jangle Jano said, sounds good. Chris Bennon, hello from Manchester. Hi, Chris, how are you? Winnipeg, Dustin Thiessen, hello from the favourite town of our Landreth family.
Awesome.
In Winnipeg. Mark Lavinish says, thanks for helping son pick out my birthday present. Love my DD8. You will always be a part of my 47th birthday. By the way,
that's brilliant.
Son and I are now engaged. Awesome. That's good. Congratulations to you and son.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Good. George Martinez. Is that Tom Selleck? I wish, George.
Well, good one from Chris Parsons. Thank you, Chris. Kicking off the top chat today. He says, hi, guys. Finally got to the top of the KOT, the King of Tone waiting list. Really rubbish. Should I go with... I've been recording with mine. It's unreal. It'll actually be in the song tomorrow. He says, I was curious. Should I go with the 4-jack mod? Was curious if placing pedals between the two sides is cool, or if the KOT is magic, how the two sides interact with each other. Well, it is definitely magic. I've got the 4-jack mod and I never use it. But it's a cool thing to have.
So just to clarify, the only thing that the 4-jack option gives you is that you can put things in between the two sides of your King of Tone, right?
Yeah, you can.
So you've got a separate in and out for each side.
Switching system. You can have each side individually bumped into a loop, which can be handy.
Just seeing if we've got one here. I think the whole world is online, Dan.
I don't know. I never use it because the way the sides interact with each other, I think, is magic. But there are people that do use it, so you know, I don't know. It's a good mod though. You'll love it though, Chris. It's such a great pedal.
Personal Nadia says, here's a quick question. Does anyone's amp have a wet-dry blend on the effects loop? Mine does, and now I'm bewildered that no other amp seems to have it. It was a thing for a while. People were doing parallel effects loops on some amps where you could do exactly what you say. Some amps have it, most don't. That's fair, isn't it? Yeah,
so it's a parallel. So you've got basically like a side chain going off. And so what you would do, you can blend in a certain amount of signal in a parallel loop. So you might put 100% wet delay in there, and so it's just delay that sits on top. Some we've had them for a while. The problem that a lot of people have with them is when they put effects in there, and the effects were out of phase, and you're trying to blend that in, and everything would go horribly wrong. But yeah, they can work well. If you've got a delay pedal that's got a 100% wet, like a kill dry function on it, try sticking that in there and give it a go. So yeah, really cool thing.
I'm just marvelling, Dan, at the globe that's joining us. We've got Laurens Bronsfeld from the Netherlands. We've got Maniacal Line from Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota. We've got Raheel Hamaktan from Vienna. We've got Jason Johnson from North Florida. We've got Jake Lindsay from Memphis, Tennessee. Ty Roberts from Colombia.
Wow.
We've got Chris Collins from Hong Kong. And we've got Jake Daddy 08 from Burnley, Lancashire.
Nice.
What an international bunch we are today. How cool is this? Kenneth Hartvigsen from Utah. New Jersey, Chicago. Oh, man, this is great. This is great. Winston Bowman. Winston, thank you very much for your generosity. He says, keep up the great work at this difficult time. So thanks for that. Yeah. Well.
One for you, Mick, from Andrea Butera.
Yes, hi, Andrea.
Hi, guys. I want to buy the V4 Duchess. What's your opinion? Playing it, have you the feeling of the tube amplifier? I'm deciding between a V4 and a V40. I only play at home. Greetings from Italy. Your greetings back to you, Andrea. I hope you're all well and safe, and I cannot wait to get back to Italy.
No, nor me. I'm thinking about a little road trip, actually, Dan. We've got a couple of guitars to pick up. Do you remember when we went and did the guitar breaks thing? Taylor sent us a couple of guitars to use, acoustics. Anyway, we'd forgotten about them, and so I said we'd buy them, and because they're low end, like a little the little baby one and something else. Anyway, the only thing is we can't get them from Italy because Ian's not living there anymore. So
is he not?
I'm thinking. Well, he's backwards and forwards. He's mostly in the UK, so I'm thinking of the most pointless road trip going to break the COVID curse once it's lifted. And drive my new car on a road trip to Italy and back for some freedom. So
wonderful.
We'll see.
Wonderful.
Got to buy the car first, but there we are. Anyway, Andrea, to your question, V4 the Duchess or V40? It's quite a difficult one, that. The front end of the V4 is really, really nice. So for anyone not aware, the V4 series that Victory's done has 4 of these little military spec tubes running at decent voltage, so it's proper valve front end, and then those are the preamp series. And then in addition, the Duchess one has a 180 watt Class D power section. It sounds really good. No doubt you've watched the demo shot with Chris Buck, and I can see his face, can't remember his name. No, can't see his face. Anyway, we did it at Real World Studios. I'll remember in a minute. I'm really sorry. Place for Westlife.
I can see his face too.
Now I can see his face. Catherine, if you just bear with me a sec. Catherine is shouting from the outside of the room. Phil Short. Sorry, it was just eluding me, and how terrible of me to forget Phil's name. Yeah, it sounds great. Personally, hand on heart, absolutely personally, hand on heart, I'd always go for a full valve arrangement. I think there's just something in the way that the delivery happens. However, at home, at lower volume, it's really convenient because it's really tiny. I think that would be a fantastic home amp, and of course it's quite a bit less expensive than the full-on valve amp as well. So yeah, I would be very happy with that at home, connected up to a little cab of some description.
Lovely.
Blimey, that took a long time, didn't it? Sorry.
Bag of Tweed has just said, love the Sheriff V4. Amazing. The Marshall in the box with my V40 Deluxe.
Yeah,
both of them.
The preamps they are really good, the preamps. Really, really good, because they're high voltage valve preamps, so, you know, has every chance of being good. Germany, says Romeo Zulu 57. Oulu, Finland, says Jukka Poksinen. Denver, Colorado.
From Vegas as well.
Rhode Island. Oh my God. Aberdeen, Slovenia. What about the Irish, says Bag of Tweed.
Houston, Nebraska. Wicked.
Oh, this is too cool. Right, finally, as we limp into this week's show, we're talking about the show we did on Friday, which was things that we wish we'd known when this was all fields.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've watched that show, you'll have seen the introduction, and Dan and I both said, you know, we came up with a really long list, so we may repeat that format for this Friday. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
cool.
It's fun.
Simon's going to come in tomorrow.
Is he?
Yeah, we're going to just start filming again. We're going to do the COVID thing and stay 2 meters apart and all the rest of it. But yeah, we're going to get the world going again, or get our world going again anyway.
Okay.
So we'll see, because the R rate's down, isn't it? The R rate's in a good place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So let's see. We shall keep it tight. We shall take all the necessary precautions and just see what happens.
Yes, but sad because I can't be there. But I'll get there. I'll get there soon.
Well, we just need to work up to it, don't we?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's up to you, though, mate. It's up to you. Now then, there was a question here somewhere. Oh, and there it's gone. It's totally gone.
Well, so I'll address one question from the video.
Go for it.
We had lots of people. So when I did the demonstration by raising the action up 0.5 millimeter, and
Yes.
loads of people were really surprised the difference it makes. And a lot of people had asked me the question, did I raise the pickups?
Yes.
I didn't raise the pickups. Now, if you think of it like this, well, I didn't raise the pickups because the pickups were already pretty low in that guitar. Raising the strings by 0.5 millimeter in comparison to where the pickups already were really wouldn't have made that much difference. But also, you know, if you think it's clarity, especially the mid-range, and actually that clarity was produced by moving the strings further away.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that I was getting any sort of major amounts of magnetic draw on the strings either. It was especially with the P90s. It was not a massive factor in the result of changing that action by 0.5 mil.
Yeah, would be interesting, wouldn't it, for the sake of completeness, to do that, to do the action and the pickup height so they're exactly the same. But I'm with Dan. You weren't hearing the difference in the pickup height there. You were hearing the difference in the singing length of the string is what you were hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But anyway, Brad says hello from Orlando. Hello, Brad.
Hello.
Do you have any recommendations for pedals that stack well with a hotcake, Crowther Audio hotcake, into a Vox AC style amp?
Yes. Treble booster. Bang. Into the hotcake. Bosh. Job done.
Yeah, you want something shaping, don't you? You don't want a very, you don't want like a thick mid-range overdrive. You want something pretty shapy, like a treble booster or a full range boost, I would say.
Yeah, it's the hotcake is such an incredible pedal with an AC, a Vox style amplifier.
Yeah,
I love that, and it handles boosters into its front end so well. So if you've got something, that'll shape, tube screamer clon, but my favourite booster into the hotcake is a treble booster. It's just the way the hotcake deals with top end frequencies is magic.
Yeah.
And getting a really nice treble booster into the front end of that thing, it sounds awesome.
cool. There you go. Any recommendation on treble booster, Dan?
Let's see. There's a bunch of them around. The Analog Man one is awesome. What else is good?
Keeley Java Boost. I don't know if it's still available.
Yeah, Java Boost. It's magic.
Keeley Java Boost is awesome. What's the Analog Man called? It's not the Bad Bob, it's the other one, isn't it?
Beano Boost.
Beano Booster, yeah. Analog Man Beano Booster is awesome.
Yeah.
I always think it's worth with a treble booster. If you went for something really vintage specific that didn't have any other EQ or mid-range adjustment on it, you might not like it. You might not like where they've chosen to set it. Whereas if you get something like the Beano Boost, which does have that little sweepable mid-range switch, you've got more chance of hitting it on the nose, I think. But everyone makes a treble booster, don't they? The Union Tube and Transistor ones are really good.
On the Beano album, and all reports that is correct. It's just the amp cranked.
Sorry, I missed that. What was the question? Was there a treble booster on the...
32 was saying, I thought there was no treble booster on the Beano album. Yeah, that's right. Well, apparently, according to all reports, there wasn't.
Yeah.
But certainly, yeah, I don't know. Treble booster into a quick anything sounds awesome.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I was being a bit slow there. Why is it called the Beano booster is the actual question, right? Because there wasn't a treble booster on the Beano album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Don't know.
Yeah. It's just that sound of a cranked thing. Right, Sam Johnson, thank you, Sam. He says, old brainless Japanese dual pickup guitar, no pickup cavity. Suggestions on upgrades, gold foils to Strat. Comments on blender or half blender mod. So the gold foils, I pick up if you've got no pickup cavity, and so yeah, gold foils are a fantastic shout. They're such a great pickup.
Yep. No.
I don't really know much about the gold foils, Nick. How are they made? Are they just really flat and really wide?
Yeah, they are. They're really flat and really wide. I would normally have some here to show you, but they're at home. Yeah, they're just really flat. And depending on what guitar they're in, sometimes you need a recess and sometimes you don't, depending on... Because there's quite a few different types of gold foil, and I will declare my relative ignorance to that at this point.
Okay.
My Lola ones are about that, I guess. Super thin. Now then.
I think Andy's on here.
Cool. Hello, Mr. Timmons.
I just got a message from BV to say Andy's on here. That still blows my mind. So here he is. Yeah, here he is. Andy Timmons, BLO Bliss. Hey, buddy. So yes, anyone tuning in tomorrow will be able to hear Andy playing over this tune. And let me tell you, he takes us all to school.
I should blooming hope so too, eh?
Man. Oh, wow. Just unreal. So good.
Right, Orcs End says, what are your go-to volume knob settings? Strat 335 and Telly 10 for most of the time, and then 8 to 6 for the rest of the time. Dan?
Yeah. I am just starting to get into the tone stuff, especially on the neck pickup. But generally, it's in 10 and 9. And just, sometimes just taking a tiny bit off with the volume control really does give you some really wonderful tones. There's I don't know, something about it makes it more playable. Funnily enough, though, because I was recording I was doing with Red over the tune, I ended up using the 65. Red just sounded too aggressive.
Yeah.
And even with the volume rolled up a bit, but even with the volume on full on the old one, it just didn't sound, that aggressive. Yeah. So yeah. There you go.
Yeah, default's 10 though. Dan and I aren't those people who are restrained enough to make default 8 and go up and down from there. Default is 10.
Yeah. Sure.
But if I'm playing rhythm guitar underneath vocals, the guitar is literally never on 10. So it really depends what you're doing, I think. Andy Milne says, would love to see Simon play a bit of guitar. Yeah, we would too. As part of the thing that he did on the production behind the scenes, he also filmed some of his guitars, and I'm like, no. You're not getting away with that. You've got to play. If you're going to show us your guitars, you've got to play them. So we're going to make that happen. Simon's a good player, actually.
He's really lovely to play. He doesn't use the pick, uses his fizz, and it's really gets wonderful tone.
Yeah.
Timothy Johnson, thank you, Timothy. He says, hello from Ohio. I'm looking for a pedal to stack with my light speed that has just a little more hair to it. I mostly play blues and rock, so any suggestions will be great. I think there's a pretty obvious suggestion there, Mick.
Hudson Broadcast.
Oh, nice.
Where were you going?
Well, he's a stack with his light speed to punch into the front of it. So I was going to go Quanny.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Bit of sizzle in the old clon there, but it's also got a bit of a mid boost.
Yeah, I think it's, but you got lots of options there. The long light speed is another wonderful full range. I like the Klon thing because it will beef up the mid. So the light speed it's not a mid, certainly not heavy, and so the mids and the Klons sit in a really lovely place, and so I think they'll work really well.
Yeah. Equally, you could go for something like an exotic BB. You could go for anything that's got a treble control on it, really. Again, any treble booster. You just don't want anything too woolly sounding if bite is what you need. Dan, I'm just going to try something a minute, like your gran used to do back in the day. I'm going to hang up and call you again, because the internet looks really bad. Ooh, don't see Dan's phone number. Let's try that, see if it's any better.
Any better?
I don't know if it will be or not. It is already better, but let's see.
Good.
Nice. Aelus, or Aeolusmi, Aelus MI says, what's happening with the casino? Currently nothing. I need to get my head out of my bottom and pick the lollas that I want, because there's loads of different versions, and at that point I go option paralysis, does not compute, put away for another day. Not in the pickup types, but in the cover shapes. And I just don't know. I haven't got around to it. So yeah, I'll be honest, this whole COVID thing, even though we seem to be doing less work, I am like the proverbial duck, all good up here and pedaling like crazy down there to keep things moving.
Absolutely.
So anything sort of...
I've never been busier.
Anything fun like that, sort of taking a back seat while we just try and do stuff like get shows out and get the orders out of the store and all that kind of stuff. So, and try and pay the mortgage.
And to everyone that's been ordering from the store, thank you so much. You've all been just unreal. It really makes a difference. So thank you all. Really appreciate it.
Chris Groom, yes, thank you. Thank you. It's a big deal. It keeps us going, the store purchases. So thanks for doing that. Catherine's out there packing orders as we speak. Chris Groom says, I think it would be interesting to hear the difference between tube brands, from top end to budget. That way you would have an idea if you wanted to darken an amp sound or brighten it, for example.
Interesting. What would also be interesting is hearing the difference that, like for me, if ever I'm trying to change alter the overall sound of the amp, the first tube I'll replace is the phase inverter.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a tube that's working really hard all the time.
Yeah.
And you can get some great results by messing around with that thing. It's really good. But yeah, interesting.
I just don't have enough experience of it, and I also don't think there's enough consistency. So you probably are aware, Chris, that there are 3 valve factories left? Maybe 4.
Right.
Used to be 5. I think there's 3 now. There might be 4. I don't know. Someone will confirm this. There's one in China, there's one in Russia, and there's one in the former Yugoslavia, I think. JJs are the ones that come out of that factory.
Right.
And then lots of the stuff you see branded, whether it be, I don't know, the Mullard brand reinvented, Tongue Sol, whatever they are, Mesa Boogie, any amp brand, they'll be from any one of those factories selected and matched in order to put them in the place that's going to work for the amp. So really it's the place of manufacture that's the interesting bit, and the type of valve it is. So if it's a 6L6, is it the one with the wings? Is it the one with the elongated grids? There's a bunch of different types of common valve, which then end up getting rebranded into various different things. The person to talk to about this would be a really good amp builder, wouldn't it? Because they would know.
Yeah.
And I know that, you might hear someone like Dave Friedman or Martin Kidd or whoever Who else? Joe Morgan, those guys, Eli at Two Rock. You might hear them say, oh yeah, we tried JJ's in that and it didn't work as well as the whatever, because they know what the characteristics are. Tolerance of plate voltage and all that kind of stuff. So It's a great question, Chris. I'm not sure Dan and I have enough
knowledge about the individual valve makes and things, and let's get someone on. I think when the craziness stops, really want to get Jesse on to do a Tweed show, and he's also really great with all that stuff. So
he'll know for sure. Fishy Paw says, thoughts on spending too much time chasing tone rabbit holes and not enough time getting better and finding your own natural tone? Yeah, it's cyclical, isn't it? For me.
Yeah. They do go hand in hand to an extent. It's like you need to understand the gear that you're plugging into. But at the same time, spending so much time on that and nothing else isn't going to get you results. But it's a journey.
Yeah. And sometimes you might be really into the tone thing, and sometimes you might be really into learning that diminished arpeggio, whatever it is. And as he says, they're two sides of they're 2 feet on the same body, aren't they?
Yeah.
You two sides of the same coin. You need them both to progress, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Force, thank you. He says, many thanks for a great show last Friday. Take care and stay safe. You too, Michael. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Bagger Tweed says, if you guys have all self-isolated this long, I don't see a problem with having the TPS bubble of the 4 of you. Yes, lots of people say this. However, I probably had 4 deliveries today. I went to the supermarket at the weekend, etc., etc. I can't be sure that I'm absolutely not a carrier without a test, which is a little nudge there to whoever's in charge to help us get some tests. But yeah, I can't be absolutely sure. Dan's asthmatic. We don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Rumi73, can you please do a show on how to set a noise gate? We did a whole show on noise gates. Please watch that. But I think how you set a noise gate is you just decide the threshold you want before it goes into effect, don't you?
Yeah. So if the guitar is the trigger for the gate. So you set it at the amount of dynamics that you want from the guitar. So, ideally, if you're not playing, the gate is shut and there is no noise. But as soon as you start to play, the noise gate reacts to the dynamics of the guitar and opens, and that's the audio through. The thing in question really is the speed of the gate and just how sensitive it is. But if you're, that changes. If you're playing a really sensitive guitar in a really, really loud, heavy stage, then you might want the gate to be quite solid. But also, it depends on a lot of things, on your playing style and all that stuff.
Lee Malia's was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like really, he had to address the guitar fairly significantly in order to open that gate, didn't he? He
did. Really confront it.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
AJ Martin 0321, thank you for that. Says, thanks for your input regarding the guitar necks last week. I found a great deal on a gold top Krautster 2 and it should be delivered today. Thanks for everything you do. Best in Florida. Wow, that's a serious guitar,
AJ.
Like
one of these? Ooh.
That's a really serious guitar. Yeah. Enjoy. Absolutely sure you will.
What a great guitar.
It's got a really unique mid-range, that guitar, isn't it?
It does. I am still messing around with the pickups for it. I think there's some better pickups for it, especially the bridge. But it does. It's just a killer guitar. Absolutely killer.
Steve Richardson says, is it too early to talk Andy Timmers at Fat Lils? No, it's not. that everything is pointing towards that date happening in September. I think it's pretty much sold out by now, so hopefully you've got tickets. Can't wait. Just can't wait to be among humans again.
No, it's going to be awesome.
Making noise. Matthew Ingalinera. Mick, what's your opinion on treble bleeds on Strat volume controls? Personally, I don't like them, Matthew. It doesn't suit the way that I've kind of developed as a player, but I do know people that really do like them, so I guess it's down to you. What I like about not having it on there is, having been in all the kind of bands that I've been in growing up, which have been loud bands generally, you need to disappear away from the singer when you turn that volume control down. And if you've still got all that treble in there, it's more problematic. I mean, you could just go quieter, of course.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Might sound a bit more hi-fi, and actually it might be, in some respects, it might be advantageous. But the way that I'd always done it kind of growing up was, you turn that down, not only does it get a lot quieter, but a lot of the treble goes away as well, so it sort of fades into the background. Would you want that in a record mix? Probably not. But in a live environment with rubbish PAs and weak singers, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, great.
Weak singer.
That's me. Andrew Saracides says, just want to say I love the show. Prior to TPS, I only used the distortion and the wire pedal into a Fender solid state amp. Now I have a proper pedal board with wire gain, chorus and delay into a Fender Twin.
Yes.
Oh, well done, Andrew. You rock.
And are you enjoying it more? That's the most important question. That is the most important question. We hope you are. We hope you are. Greasy Kitchen says 1-800 Shreddy McShreddy Pants. we got a designer on that happening already, so hopefully there will be a Shreddy McShred Pants t-shirt at some point.
Awesome. That's so good. Maniaca Lion says, I got a raise today, and here's the change from my son's birthday present. A mini Squire Strat and a mini Orange Crush. Nice!
Too cool.
Giving him my soul food to make myself get a Ryra. That's awesome. Oh, happy birthday to your son.
Happy birthday.
I'm sure he will love it.
How cool is that?
That's awesome. So good.
Daniel Shim. Hello, Daniel. I have a question for Mick. For your 1x12 2-Rock cab, do you have a 100-watt speaker in there, or do you turn the classic reverb sig on 50 watts? As it happens, I do have a 200-watt speaker in there. I've got a WGS 12L, which is their take on the EV speaker. However,
it's majestic.
It's a really good speaker. It's pretty. If I say flat sounding, that sounds bad, but it is pretty flat sounding. So it's pretty faithful to what you give it.
Yeah, right.
However, if you don't have a 100-watt speaker and you've got a classic reverb signature and you don't turn it up, it's not a big deal. Just don't get it up really, really loud. I mean, if you turn it up really, really loud, you need a more powerful speaker. But there's nothing wrong with running a 100-watt amp into a 50-watt speaker if you don't turn it up.
Yeah.
And even then, you'd probably have to give it some beans to do the speaker much damage. But, yeah. Yep.
I have been filming recently a show I was trying to do and actually got a speaker to catch fire.
Have you?
Which was fun.
Nice. What was that? The voice coil catches fire, does it, I guess?
Yeah. Just generating so much heat. I was trying to break a wine glass with feedback. And yes, it's a very specific way to do it. I didn't do it a very specific way. And even then you've got to be really lucky. And I just all this smoke was coming out. I thought, oh my God, I'm burning the amplifier. It wasn't the amp, it was the speaker.
Hilarious.
It was great. And I did that and then blew up a compression driver and lots of fun.
I hope you've got all this on video, Dan.
I've got it all on video and I've got it. And so it's like hours and hours of footage of me being just really disappointed. So, yeah. But I shall keep going.
I think you should definitely put that out. Finally, on the speakers thing, I've been really impressed with that Jensen 100-watt Alnico speaker that's in the Mesa California Tweed. So I'm going to try and see if we can squirrel some of those out of Jensen just to try them in a couple of other cabs and see what they sound like.
apparently there's someone's making Fane crescendos,
Oh, nice.
and I really, really want to get at least 1 or 6 of those. Give those some love.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Aaron Singh. Hello, Aaron. Thank you.
Aaron, hey,
That's
buddy.
extremely kind of you. Thoughts on a new guitar? I've got a 62 and a 63 Strat. I'm assuming you mean a 62 and a 63 Strat. And a 60th anniversary R9. Had a Tele, but it got overlooked for LPs and Strats. So looking at either a late 60s to late 80s 335 or a 58 Les Paul Junior, would you go 335 or Junior? Ah, that's tough. So
I think with the arsenal that he's got at the moment, the 335 I think would be...
Yeah. That will be certainly the most different to anything else you've got so far. I'm really, really loving my 335 at the moment.
So, mixed tone on tomorrow's show with that 335 is absolutely incredible.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
and that
really
was
just smoking.
That was super quiet at home. Just the Thorpe Warthog and a OD9 Maxon.
Yeah.
Super quiet into the 2 amps, but yeah, it was really nice sound. But I am about to change the pickups in the 335. So.
Okay. To what?
Ron is doing me some
nice
low wind.
Oh, yeah,
the same one that Doyle's got in his Collings anyway. Because the 335 sounds great, but it does get a bit thick and woolly.
Sure.
At higher volumes, and it could just do with a bit more poise. So I'm going to try.
There's no woolliness at all in that recorded tone.
No, well,
it's just perfect.
To be fair, I think I've got the low cuts on the preamps at like 160 hertz. So yeah, there is no.
Oh wow! Okay.
There is no wool, so it's all gone. You know, it's
nice.
fixed it in the mix, mate.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, I'd go for 335, Aaron. And if you're looking from a late 60s to late 80s, I would definitely on the late 60s if you've got the cash. Some of those late 60s ones, certainly 67-ish, can have really, really small necks, which you either will like or you won't like. But the prices on the late 60s ones are still really good. However, if you can't find one that you like and you're thinking about a late 80s, I would absolutely buy a new Memphis one. Memphis doesn't exist anymore, but all the guitars they made in Memphis from whenever it was until they shut the factory, they were, in my opinion, some of the best 335s that have ever been made. So
that's the one you've got, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And,
absolutely incredible.
There's plenty of them out there used, and some stores have still got stock. I would really strongly recommend. The pick of the bunch for me was the Rusty Anderson Signature 335, but they're like rocking horse doo-doo, so good luck.
Right.
Just because they were really super careful about the weight on those and the tolerance of the pots and everything. So, yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Bjorn Ludvar Larsen says, my mini event is coming on Friday. Very nice. Pedalboard coming together nicely. He's excited to see how a Novo T sounds into it. Man, those Novo guitars, I was so impressed with when we had Zach Broyles on. He brought his Novo.
What a killer sound.
On. Wow.
Wonderful sound.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a guitar. I mean, I used the word poise before. That guitar had poise in spades.
Yeah.
Just... Soren led it. Hello, Soren from Denmark.
Hey,
thank
Soren.
you. Love the show. Mick, are you still happy with the 5060s Ron Ellis pickups, or are you going back to the 64s? I have the opportunity to choose from the two and I can't make the decision. Also, Rabea tried putting the noise gate in the effects loop. Yes, he did. Funnily enough that you mentioned Rabea, he's actually got my 64s at the moment and he's going to try them in one of his Strats. Right, let's make a motoring analogy. And actually, this isn't going to work. I love them both. I absolutely love them both. The 64s are kind of sizzly. They seem kind of slightly less strong, for want of a better word. And they're sort of hairier and a bit more in your face. Whereas the 5060s are more what you would consider classic pre-CBS Strat tone.
Right.
Even though spec-wise they're not that. They are the more kind of, I don't know, pick all the adjectives. It's not like they're more rounded. It's not like that they're darker sounding, because they've actually got pretty much just as much treble. But
Right.
they've also got more lower mid, more bloom.
Okay, wow.
Those Alnico 3 magnets in the treble strings just make the compression a little easier, softer, but not less trebly. It's really weird to describe. I love them. I absolutely love them both. I think the 50s, 60s are going to stay in blue, and I'm going to put the 64s in Transit Van.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I love Transit Van. What a great guitar.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was playing it today. I was doing some Victory have done one, everyone's doing sort of jam along with your mates videos. Victory have done one and asked me to do 8 bars. So I used Transit Van into the V140 there. It sounded really nice, just straight into the amp. Sounded cool.
Lovely.
Well, I thought it sounded cool anyway. See what I
Chris
mean?
Collins Guitar says, is there a way of visually measuring what a pedal, EQ or tone control does to a guitar signal? Perhaps feeding white noise through the pickup might assist specific communications, e.g. which mid we are talking about with a tube screamer pedal, 800 hertz to 1 kilohertz.
5 to 800 in a tube screamer, usually.
Yeah.
Is what?
When you get to 1K, really it's sort of upper mids,
Yeah.
getting into that area. Yes, there is, but you'd have to. How would you do it?
Well, you could
You'd
use.
have to have some sort of signal generator into something like, because the pickups, if you think about the way the pickups work, that when you break the magnetic field with the string, it creates voltage. Well, it can work the other way around as well. If you feed voltage up there and specific frequencies, then the strings will start to resonate. It's the same thing that all your sustainers and all that sort of stuff. That's the technology that's based on. But yeah, it's difficult because you can put frequencies. Let's say you're able to do that. Great, but you can find specific frequencies and it's great. But as soon as you change the way you play, then all that is gone. So the amount of work you'd have to do to cover all the bases is absolutely massive. And then change the player and it's all different again. It's a tricky thing, but you can get close and do talking generalizations.
It's hard to take your brain out of it as well, isn't it? Your preconception, because
it's so hard.
One of the reasons I moved away from tube screamers just recently is because I was getting a bit tired of that 5 to 800 thick lower mid there. So I was looking for more, like maybe something closer to the Klon response or even the Dumble type thing. Yes, it's got a really strong mid-range already there, so if you add Tube Screamer to that, there's more of it. But then I plugged the OD9 in the other day, the Analog Man modded Maxon, and I was just like, here we are, here's home.
Yeah.
And because my brain was telling me something that wasn't actually happening, and it's really hard to get out of that. And the opposite of that is true as well. Even if you can see on a scope that it's not happening, that doesn't really help your brain believe that it's not happening, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
That's a really, really good shout. Yeah, it's. I wonder if there's something there worth exploring. Because, really good question. Chris, hey Chris, thanks for that. It says, what piece of equipment do you guys ride the roller coaster with? Meaning you fall in and out of love with it on a regular basis.
Fuzz.
Oh, boy.
Fuzz for me, every time. Because I love the sound of it. I love the sound of fuzz. And then you get in a band and it's like, can't hear it. Or the first 3 rows are lying on the floor crying. Well, actually, not even that. The guy in the 7th row is lying on the floor crying because that's by the time the waves got to him.
It's compression for me.
Yeah.
I have days when I think, how would I ever play without a compressor? And then the next day it's like, I probably will never use this again. It's, really, really interesting. Great question, Chris. Thank you.
Be interesting
Patrick Carroll says, suppose I started a petition to get null on TPS. You can by all means start a petition. It won't make him come on.
So I missed that. I was reading Jack's one. Who was it to come on?
Noel Gallagher.
Oh, Noel. Oh, God. It would be wonderful to have Noel on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading Jack's... Jack Duxbury. Hello, Jack.
Hey, Jack. Jack's on tomorrow's show as well.
You're
and what a legend.
Thoroughly deserving of a honk. And he says,
man.
Sorry for the dorky question, but I need to make a decision between the Argo and the Argonaut. Which one would you go for, you Sonic Stallions, you? Bless you, mate. I use the Argo all the time, and I love it. It's basically a remake of the Cobb, of the Prescription Electronics Cobb. And the way you can blend the fuzz in and also blend the octave in with the clean sound just means you can sit it absolutely perfectly. The Argonaut is really cool, but it's a different thing, isn't it? Do you remember when we did it on the show?
Yeah.
Arguably
The Argo's the one for me personally. Yeah, absolutely.
Was it maybe a bit more Hendrixy, the Argonaut?
It's a more specific thing, I think, the Argonaut. The Argo is definitely a lot more flexible.
Oh, mate. Keep the people happy. I wanted to do this live. I'll be back in about 40 seconds.
All right. Ty Roberts, thanks, Ty. He says, last week you touched on the differences between a typical Les Paul and a Flying V. Can you please elaborate tonally? It's sure thing. So my Flying V, it was one of the early, the first time that they Gibson reissued the V in the early. That thing almost Strat-like on the neck pickup. I mean, there's something, I don't know. There's a top end. There's a quickness to it, but there's also almost like a hollowness to it as well. It's really weird. Where a Les Paul is so thick, so incredibly thick sounding, that the V doesn't have that thickness, especially in the mid range. But yeah, something that the top end and the clarity in the V is extraordinary. And it's a character that all Vs have. It's really, really weird. Certainly the Carina, those Carina Vs.
Talking about Flying V mid-range.
It's a really good example. Go and have a listen to Joe Bonamassa has got one of the really early Vs that used to belong to
Lonnie Mac?
Sorry?
Lonnie Mac?
No.
I'm just guessing. Albert King. Albert King.
Albert King. And yeah, go and have a listen to some videos of him playing it, and you'll hear it. You'll hear that top end. It's so sweet. It's beautiful. Hope that helps.
Yeah, it really is. You know what? Your Huber, to me, has something of that mid-range.
It does.
It's almost nasally, but it's not nasal.
No. Yeah.
Okay, Dan, I've got some
really, really good point.
I've got some interesting things to share with you.
Okay. COY gas.
I think it's Guy Gas.
Guy gas. Oh, sorry, I can't.
It's their new
Guy gas.
crazy high headroom fuzz pedal.
No way.
From Catlin Bread, so that's good. Looking forward to that. Johnny Duffett. Remember Johnny who came down with the vintage amps?
Oh, yes.
He sent you a present.
Oh, my goodness. Unwrap it now.
Do you want me to unwrap it for you?
Yes, please.
He sent me a present.
I love presents.
Check this.
Oh, hang on. I'm really excited now because it's also sizable. No!
How cool is that? Bless him. Johnny is a nice guy. Johnny brought down some vintage amps for us to play, and he's just a real sweetheart. And he sent us some gifts by way of a thank you.
Oh my word!
For doing that pedal show. So, an unbelievable kindness. This is what he sent you, Dan, and I think you're going to be quite excited by this. There's stuff he's had lying around that he's had for years that he either doesn't use or isn't really for him.
Oh, hang on.
And he wants it to go to a good home.
Just don't all at once. Just show me the little. Oh, okay, so I'll tell you exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so, right. Okay, right, because I had one. I had one, and I sold it, and like an idiot, I regretted it the day I sold it. Okay, ooh. Right, stay there. You stay there, Mick.
For the people at home, this is what it is. Hopefully you can see that. It's a Kimbara. So I think it's like a rebranded Shine or something. Or it's something similar.
Right, so what that is, it is the Shine fuzz wah. So this was a duo fuzz, but it's still the Shine like companion fuzz. And has, if you see the side, it's got the same switches, the same fuzz control. So this fuzz circuit actually lives in that wah pedal, and so you can kick it on. And it's the most insane sounding thing.
So this one's branded Kimbara.
Yeah, right, there you go. And so it's basically a super fuzz built into the wah.
So immense.
That is awesome.
There you go.
My word.
That's your gift, Dan, from Johnny.
Oh, man.
Incredible.
That's quite overwhelming, actually.
Incredible kindness, and I can't wait to get into that
amazing.
That Ross distortion.
Oh, boy.
Shall we keep going with this?
What, is there more?
There is. Let's go.
No!
Let's go to I'm Antisocial from Brisbane. I'm Antisocial from Brisbane, your hometown, Dan, says,
yes.
I'm building a rack system with presumably a Mesa Recto preamp, a 290, an RJM switcher. Any tips on cabling and runs? Thinking Mogami 2319. That is a really, really crazy, serious rig.
Yeah.
Cabling and runs then, Dan, while I open the next box.
Okay. Yeah. The Mogami stuff, fantastic. If you can solder well, brilliant. That's the thing. There's I get asked all the time, am I better off getting soldered or doing solderless? Depends on your skill.
See if I can lose a finger on a live stream.
Being able to solder. Soldering cables, once you learn to do it, it is brilliant, but it takes a while. Here's the thing. If you're just soldering a component to a component, it's quite a simple thing to do. But when you're soldering cables, you're actually heating up quite a lot of mass. And it's really easy to transfer that heat through the cable and actually melt inside the cable, and you start to get short circuits. Now, one of the things that happened when the ROSH laws came in, so ROSH stands for Removal of Hazardous Substances. So, for example, when we used to use lead solder back in the day, lead solder had a much lower melting heat, but now you can't have lead in solder anymore. So we've got things like silver solder, and that has a much higher melting heat. Now the cable hasn't changed, and what you'll find is you've just got to be really careful. Get in and out with a soldering iron as quickly as you can. Otherwise, you do risk, melting inside those inside the cable, and you get short circuits. So it depends on your skill. I would say it just depends on your skill with a soldering iron. And if you can do that, fantastic. Mogami's absolutely brilliant. I use the Evidence Audio screw and solderless system, which is absolutely fantastic. I also, before they created the the screw and solderless plugs, I was using the cable for my soldered rigs because I just love it. but it's only really if you're doing a rig where the pedals are going to stay fairly static, like you're not going to be moving them around all the time because it's got a solid core. That's when it's really awesome. So yeah, work out. Wow.
Looking forward to hearing this.
Wow. That is.
So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to getting into that. What else have we got? Other exciting things, Dan? All I'm going to tell you is that something's come from Germany.
Okay, let me get something exciting. Hang on.
Hopefully everyone across the world is doing what I do when I watch something like Casualty, just as they're getting ready to take the guy in the ambulance and he's cutting his toenails with a pair of garden shears. So
just remembered I've still got my pyjama pants on. So apologies to everyone.
you've got pyjama pants on.
I do.
Man.
My pyjama bottoms. That's what I thought when I stood up. You know, my. Okay, here we go. Oh, we have the Supreme.
From JHS. Awesome.
JHS. And we've got the Bender. So this is really cool because we did a show with Josh at Macari's talking all about tone benders. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. I was doing some hoovering today and found a 70s super tone bender on top of my pedal cupboard.
That's mine.
Is it?
That's mine. Yeah. That's mine. I hadn't used that in so long. It's called Crimson. So that's the big muffy one.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's mine. I bought that in because I was actually considering selling it to fund the telly.
Oh, to fund the telly, yeah.
But in the end, I decided against selling anything.
Okay, looking for. God, we've got a lot to catch up on, Daniel.
We do, and then there's a Smiley Fuzz. So there's all four of them.
Very cool. Is it called Smiley because it's a mid-scoopy tone bender?
No, that's the Fuzz face.
Right. Oh, because it smiles. Right.
Tone bender is the bender.
Right.
Crimson is the big muff.
Yeah.
And the Supreme.
They hand wired.
Oh no.
We done?
Oh no. Hit the spacebar on my Mac.
Does it come off?
No, just push the spacebar down. Oh no.
It'll be fixable.
Yeah, but I'm right in the middle of an edit. Anyway, that's the Supreme, which is
There's Googling for you to do, Dan. That'll be
again
fixable.
a version of this.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Now my Mac is freaking out. Okay. Oh no.
Okay, anyone got any tips for Dan for a spacebar that's been compacted in on a MacBook Pro?
No, my new Mac.
Meanwhile, Gabriel Rodriguez says, "Hi gents, ready to step up from my DSL 40C with Celestion Vintage 30. What would be the next step in the direction of victory? Just for home and backyard shenanigans. Thanks and so much love from SoCal. Hello to California." So you got a DSL 40C and you want to buy a Victory. Depends what kind of sound you're going for, because the DSL 40C is a really good all-rounder mid-price amp. I think if you went up to something like a V40 the Duchess, I'm not sure you'd see a giant leap in quality or tone there. Dan won't be able to do anything until he works out how to fix this. So it really depends what kind of sound you're going for. If you want a different kind of sound, then in the Victory range there's like a more Voxy type one, there's a sort of harder rock one, etc. So You might be in a better position to answer that than we are. Yeah, it depends on the sound you're going for. If it's rock you play and you really like the rock, then the Kraken is an absolutely stunning amplifier.
Yes, it really is.
It's really fantastic if gain is your thing. So yeah, maybe come back and let us know if there's something more specific in the question there, because it's hard to say if we don't know what direction you're going in. Andrew Davis, hi Andrew, thanks for keeping these shows going in these difficult times. After 3 years of waiting, I'm finally about to order my KOT, King of Tone, Analog Man King of Tone. Any tips on what I should go for? Love the show. I go standard on side 1 and higher gain on side 2 is what I would go, because the higher gain's only about 20% more than the regular one. 4-jack, if you want to use that, if you want to split the two sides out separately. But yeah, I think the standard is kind of standard on side 1, higher gain on side 2. But to be honest, you won't be sorry whatever you order. What's the matter, Dan?
Oh, so it's now I can't see you anymore. The space bar is being continually pressed.
Right.
And,
so
yeah.
You need to do some Googling then to find out how to fix that.
Yes.
Now,
enough, not on the computer.
What you can do on Macs is you can just pull that. Google this before you do it. The space bar itself will come off.
Okay.
It will come off, and it might be as it comes off, then there'll be pressure pads underneath that you can release.
Okay.
So you just need to Google that before you do it.
Okay. Well, Googling it gives me lots of... I'll try and show you this, but every letter I type's got like 6 spaces between it.
Yes, it's just stuck on, so you need to unstuck it.
Removing the space bar from a Mac.
Steve Richardson, video over. Dan will not be able to concentrate on anything else. It will be fixable. You must know, Dan, Steve, is all I'm going to say about that. Dan, just be happy it wasn't an Axe-Fx 3. Oh, I see, because it would have been heavier. Michael Krause says, push the space bar alternatively on each end and rock it back and forth. Gaffer tape and pull it back up. Try guitar pick under the edge.
Here we go. I'm watching a quick. Here we go. Remove and reinstall the spacebar on MacBook laptops. Oh boy, how do I manage that? What an absolute wally!
Drop another pedal.
Some of these guys just levering it up. All right, let's see if we. There we go.
Ramrock Man's Jukebox says, how will he Google it without a functioning spacebar? I was thinking on his phone is what I was thinking. Pedal board tape. BV. Mick, has Dan got an external keyboard?
Wait, not one that has a USB. Oh no.
There we go. Okay. I'll entertain you with this. Dan driver sent.
I see. Mick, I can't see. Literally can't.
Dan is now panicking. We can see you, which is hilarious. 6:30. We got another half an hour of Dan freaking out. We might have to end a bit early. Tweedy from Dan Drive in high power twin format. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Playing the Mesa Cali Tweed just recently has made me kind of interested in these noises. So I'm going to try that into the 2-Rock, see what happens. It's very cool. And bless him, he's modded my Austin Pride so it cleans up a bit better. Because apparently the one I've got from him was the prototype. Madness.
Oh, really?
We love you, Dan. And you make awesome fuzz pedals. Oh, man. Cool. What else have we got?
I'm making progress. Oh, you've gone big.
We've got something from Strymon.
Oh, wow.
Actually, are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah.
If not,
isn't it the octave drive thing?
Compadre. Dual voice compressor and boost. Looks pretty cool. We've got a lot to get through, Dan.
Yeah.
You worked it out or not?
I've worked out that I'm an idiot. Boy, oh boy. Oh, there's like a membrane on here. Oh, now, let's see.
Is a silly man.
Right, the space bar is not working at all now. Okay, nice.
He broke his space bar one day in Swindon.
Okay.
There aren't many words that rhyme with Swindon.
Space bar is up. Oh, okay. All right. Now it's completely, what do you call it? Heath Robinson, but I can, wow. I can just press the center button that gives me a space bar. Okay.
Is it fixed?
I was panicking. I'm sorry, everyone. I was panicking because I'm in the middle of doing this edit for tomorrow. And if I can't get it,
he's fixed his
sorted,
space
then I
bar,
wouldn't have had a show for tomorrow.
Well.
So I'm now
he can edit and do it well.
Boy, oh boy.
It wasn't a very good song.
I liked it. Oh man, it's so complicated under here.
Minor keys, man.
Wow. How do they? Man.
Simon Key says, "Here's £5 for the Ballad of Dan." Mick, you're a mentalist. Oh, hang on. I've forgotten. Right. Broke his space bar, it's not very well. He's fixed it now and it's so swell.
Swell ends on a major chord
to fix.
I might have to go back to minor.
We're finished.
Because all is not well with the computer now.
Yes, Frankie Holt, Sir Robin ran away. Of course he did. Yeah. And his eyes cut out, and his knees gouged out, and his balls cut off, and his penis. That's enough singing, lads. Right, good. Back in the game, Dan?
I'm back in the game. I don't know what game, but if there's a game, I'm back in it. Oh, Greg, thank you. Greg has given me money towards a new spacebar.
Michael Fours says he's seen T-shirts online saying, "What a difference a Dan makes."
Far out.
Gabriel Rodriguez. Sorry, Gabriel, you've given us more cash. You didn't need to do that, but definitely in the rock direction, but worried that the Kraken was more for metal tones. Watched a video where you compared Vox, Fender Super and Plexi, which I favoured the Plexi cleans and crunch. Yeah, okay, so the Kraken's really interesting. The Channel 1 is more like a crank vintage Marshall. It's not straight. You can scoop the mids out if you want, but it does the old Marshall thing really brilliantly well. The Sheriff is a bit hairier, so it's kind of like a modded Marshall, not massively smooth sounding, but completely brilliant. So if you like that hairy out there thing, it's great. Kraken, the only question about the Kraken is if it will go clean enough for you, because I think that Channel 1 is classic rock, brilliant classic rock sound. So yeah, good luck. I'm guessing you can't go anywhere to try them, is the ball ache of it. Yeah. How you getting on, Dan?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, man. Okay. I thought I was okay. No, I don't know. But anyway, good. Here we go.
Jake's chucked in £2 for the Ballad of Dan. Thanks, Jake. Lose more. Sam Johnson, any comments on Strat Blender or half Blender mod? I don't know what that means. Strat Blender or half Blender mod? Is that where you blend the neck pickup in with the bridge pickup, maybe? Is that what that is?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. If it is blending the neck pickup in with the bridge pickup, it's something that quite a lot of people do, and is a really cool sound by all accounts. Didn't Gilmore do it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Stephen Dennis says, Mick, demonstrate the TPS intro and outro music. I made that. I think it's a guitar going bring, and then another guitar going bling on the end, and then it's sped up and slowed down and reversed some of it, I think, and then put through a load of crap. I can't even remember how he made it. So yeah, I'm not sure I could demonstrate that.
Apparently we've missed some super chats, BV's saying.
Okay.
How do I get there?
Literally no idea. I thought there was a separate window for it.
Yeah, there is somewhere. Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. Mark Frankel. Hi gents, Mick, can you give us a quick close-up of the technique you use to palm your pick when going between picking and fingerstyle? Oh my goodness. This is like one of those things when someone asks you to do something. Right. It's there. Maybe. Yeah, I've never realised that I do that before. I literally... Can you see that, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Sounds great.
I put it between those two fingers, it would seem. So that leaves these two claws free for clawing at the strings.
Isn't that what Chris Buck does as well?
Yeah. That was me being Chris Buck. Yeah.
Yuppie said, did Dan and Mick talk about JHS Fuzz Legends already? Yes, indeed. I took one out and it fell and smashed my keyboard. So yes, we talked about them.
It's going to see whatever we've... Zainarol, thank you Zainarol, says, love your show guys, can't decide which to pick, a full-tone Octafuzz or a Keeley Monterey. That's tough. I think as a straight octaver, the Octafuzz is better. Single sound, analog, pedal. The Monterey has got a bunch of other stuff in there, which if you want it all in one pedal and great value, does a whole bunch of things, it's a really fantastic choice. If you want a dedicated Octafuzz, then the full tone is really good. I used it all the time. It was my favourite one until I got the Mythos Argo. Yeah. Lenormal, thank you for that. Any recommendations for setting up a flexible signal routing system? I run a full stereo rig, but also would like to use my board as a send and return from my DAW. Would love to switch quickly back and forth. Well, you're probably asking the wrong people about that. Because the answer, Dan?
Well, just getting a good loop switcher and
G2
that will solve your issues.
G2 will solve all your problems. But there are other loop switchers available out there, yes. But something that will get everything in and have everything out in whatever format you want it. Yes. I'm just trying.
Who was asking?
Although this isn't that complex. You just
No.
one day you want to run your guitar through it out into your amps, and on other days you just want to have a send and return from your DAW. So presumably there's some point at which your guitar goes from mono to stereo. So wherever that stereo insert point is, or indeed you send from mono from the DAW and return in stereo. So shouldn't be any different, really. You just got to make sure the signal level is sufficient.
Yeah, for sure. But you could do it with just a junction box.
Yeah.
Like a little patch bay. That would work well as well. Jamie Brown says, thoughts on 50s wiring with Strats and Tellies?
Never done it.
So the 50s wiring I knew made a real difference on my Les Paul. But on the 50s, the wiring on the telly, for me, I don't like that, having no middle position with both pickups and having the neck pickup with all the tone rolled off. That never worked on a telly for me.
No, I think, Dan, what they're referring to is the 50s wiring is where it's the other lug and it goes to the tone pop first or something.
Oh, okay. It's a different, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've never actually tried it.
Okay. That's what you're talking about. Then, yeah, we'll have a look at it. I think, if memory serves, it loads differently?
Yeah, and the tapers on
But you have a look at it, because I know the 50s wiring thing did make a difference on the Les Paul. So I'll have to have a look at the 50s wiring with tallies.
Yeah, it changes. It affects the taper of the pots and how sensitive they are to high frequency. But
wow, okay.
The thing to remember is that's how they were Les Pauls, right? That's not how Strats were. So from my point of view, I don't want anything that wasn't how it was. But we should try it and see what happens.
Okay, I like it.
Eric Doozer, hi Eric, says this may be apocryphal, but I heard that Red House, the studio version, was a flying V. Can anyone corroborate? Regardless, thanks for providing so much needed sonic distraction during these weird times. Jimmy did definitely have a flying V. It got painted psychedelic. It was a black one, I think, that was painted psychedelic colours. Right. Whether it was, it does sound super honky. He was using an SG as well in that if you listen to him play, I can't remember what it was on the Lulu show, he's playing an SG and it sounds super honky in the mid position. It does sound like, Red House sounds like a Strat to me, but who knows? Somebody might know. James Emerson, Dan, I want to applaud you and the Gig Rig team for the fantastic customer service I received recently. Here's a token of my appreciation.
Oh, mate, that's very kind. Thank you. That's very kind.
A guy at Peach Guitars, says David Burke. Hello to everyone at Peach Guitars, joining the gang. A guy at Peach once pointed out to me that the neck pickup on a V is a few millimetres closer to the bridge than on a Les Paul, presumably for the neck joint strength. Maybe it's one reason they sound different.
Yeah, but it's not it maybe.
That will make a difference. You're clearly, where the pickup is.
You're picking up different resonant frequency points with the strings, and so that will make a difference. But I don't think, I don't know.
Matthew Bowman, really love listening to you guys. I've learned so much and it's helped so much with my return to electric guitar after years of acoustic. Thank you, Matthew. That's very kind of you to say.
Awesome. Vibus Patil says, I have a Sir Badger 35 amp and getting a King of Tone soon. What other pedals do you suggest I check out? I also have a TC delay and reverb pedal. Is the Strymon stuff a significant upgrade? Now, there's a good question. The TC stuff sounds great. What Strymon do is there's a whole bunch of different functionality. And I think See, so where the TC have it, the TC tone prints are really clever and give you access to a whole bunch of sort of custom sounds. The Strymon stuff, I would say, is sort of more, I don't know, there's more of a hi-fi studio quality edge to the Strymon stuff.
I think they've got more headroom. I think they have more headroom.
Right, okay.
As a completely sweeping generalization. I find that with Strymon stuff on the end, add reverb and delay, what you hear is reverb and delay. Some of my TC pedals, you stick them on the end and, I don't know, something happens and it's like, oh, it's like...
Right.
Like that, which could be a purely personal observation.
Interesting.
67er Matze says, Friedman Dirty Shirley, wonder if you've ever checked one of these out. Think they work quite well with pedals. They really do. I really like the Dirty Shirley.
Oh, yeah. Tom Quayle bought one over recently to my place.
Yeah.
And had a play of it. Oh, man alive.
It's kind of...
absolutely awesome.
Neither Fendery nor Marshally, isn't it?
It's its own thing. Actually, I was emailing David Friedman.
Yeah.
And I said... would love to get an amp for the show, so he's put us in touch with his guy over here.
Wicked.
Yeah, but that'd be cool. Dave Freeman's amazing, man. That guy just is an absolute fountain of knowledge.
He knows his biz.
He really does.
He knows his biz. 21st Century Industry says, D&M drive is getting a loud pop when turning the gain back and forth on the mix side. Is something broken? Yeah, that doesn't sound right. If you're just turning the gain backwards and forwards and you're getting a loud pop, something's not quite right there. Could be a dirty pot. First thing to do is to... Actually, no, don't do anything. If it's faulty, return it, get another one. Or the other thing is, does it bother you? Because I've got pedals that do weird things when you change the controls, but if the control's always there, it doesn't matter. So it shouldn't do that. It shouldn't be popping when you move controls. It's not like it's biasing a transistor or something. So yeah, sounds like there might be an issue with it.
Yes. James Elliser has, for Dan's Keyboard Tragedy Relief Fund. Cheers. Glad to know my JHS pedal that's on the way is strong. Yep. Yep, it is very strong.
DJ Ashley. Thank you, DJ. That's really kind of you. Some existentialism for you. Does the journey to find your perfect plectrum ever end? Should it end? Have you found yours? Mine has ended. Yes, I have. Here it is.
Ended. Done.
Dunlop Primetone Standard 1.5.
That's it. Now, I haven't tried the blue chip picks yet. I hear really good things. However, Nick lent me one of his picks a couple of years ago, and they sound, I don't know, there's something about them. They really do make a difference.
Yeah, so I find with picks, if the material is very kind of bright and hard,
right,
the tone can be a bit thin.
Okay.
And conversely, if the picks are very thick and, thuddy, the tone can be a bit dark. Massive generalization. These have quite a brittle, bright material, yet the tone is thick, and that's what I like about them. But then, then you'll watch Bookovac or Pete Thorne or, any other awesomely amazing player out there, and they go, yeah, I just use the Ernie Ball 0.88s. No
whenever he finds lying around.
No messing about, no fancy ass expensive plectrum, just the cheapest celluloid thing, and they sound like gods. So pinch of salt territory is all of that.
Yeah. Andrew Tucker, thoughts on Mesa Cali Tweed versus Fillmore 50?
I didn't get the Fillmore 50. They sent us one, and I didn't get it. It was really crazy trebly, and it sounded, I can't remember, and I think then something weird happened, and we never really got into it, and I wish we'd spent more time with it. I'm guessing the Fillmore was more blackfacey. Is that the point of it? I didn't spend enough time with it. You really didn't like it, did you?
I didn't get on with it at all.
Yeah.
However, I adore the
Cali Tweed.
the Tweed. It just far out, man. This is my favourite Mesa Boogie amp they've made in a long, long time. Was it the Heartbreaker
Yep.
they used to make? And I loved that amp.
Well, it's quite interesting. So the Heartbreaker was Mark I derived.
Right, wow.
And the clean channel of the Lone Star, I think, is a little bit Mark I derived.
Right.
And so I think there's a bit of Mark I in the Cali Tweed as well.
Okay,
So-
there you go. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Personal Nadia says, I love minimal distortion through delays and modulation. I've got a Ranger FX Reverb X, very nice, and a Stone Deaf Tremetron, very nice, and a Syncope, awesome. What should I try next?
So you've got trem, reverb, and syncope. So you've got reverb, tremolo, and delay. So you're covered for the ambient. You need some modulation then, don't you? You need a really cool mod.
Modulation, there's no delay there that I can see.
The syncope is the delay, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, that's right. It is the Syncope is the delay, and it's an absolute corker, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to say rotary speaker.
Oh, yes. Very good. I like that.
Yep. I'm going to say rotary speaker. So check out
Yep.
Strymon Lex. The one that I use, which is called the Neo Instruments Mini or Micro Vent.
Yep.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
I'm going to say, the Syncope is a digitally controlled analog delay. So I am going to suggest getting something that's perhaps a bit cleaner. So one of the drum delay emulators. So something like the Dorna Prince Boonar was awesome.
Or the Catlin Bread Echo Rec.
Yeah, just for a different flavour of your delays. I think that you'd really, really like that. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely sensational.
Or the Strymon Volante.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just an average guy. We bet you're not. Just an average guy says, I have a Marshall DSL-40 CR, 2015 American OCD pedal. Fender American OCD. I'm assuming that's a full-tone OCD. Fender American AM OCD pedal. Don't know. Anyway, I'm looking for pedals to make the Clapton Blackie tone. What should I add? I don't even know. I mean, so Blackie is what? Layla? Derek and Domino's era? Slow Hand? Was that Blackie? Already moved on to the more modern guitars by then. Anyway.
I don't know, but the Marshall DSL, I mean, it's sort of, I'm assuming that's going to make that a lot harder.
Layla was Brownie, not Blackie, sorry. Yeah, I don't even know what Clapton was using around that time. Obviously, his most famous sounds are Cream, which was a Gibson into a Marshall. And then if you come forward to Journeyman, was a Strat with the lace sensors into Soldanos, old Fenders, Marshalls. Plenty of treble. Yeah, I would have thought there wasn't much you need to add. It would be what I would think about that.
Yeah, it depends. It depends the flavour that you're getting out of the OCD. You might if you're looking at something lower gain to go alongside of the OCD. So Blues Driver, Lightspeed.
Try something. Try something tweedy.
There you go.
Because I always associate Clapton with quite a lot of high end in the overdrive and as a sort of tweed type of sound. Certainly more recently, but maybe that would be worth it. So something like check out the Crazy Tube Circuits, whatever their tweed pedal is, which is really cool.
The Tweedy Drive from Bad Professor?
Yep.
Their stuff is always awesome.
59 sound from Zvex.
Nice. And True North do a great Tweed drive as well.
Yeah.
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 Phil Short, hey Phil, he says, thanks for your amazing knowledge and gear inventions. They have been so crucial to my development in my career. Say thank you.
Phil.
Mate, you're so welcome. Thank you. Legend.
Matt Lloyd, hi Matt, thanks for all your comments. Matt says, I have a wet dry rig and I can't get my trem to be loud enough. I tried boosting them, but it causes my signal to break up. I want the trem to be clear, loud and smooth. The Catlin Bred Valcoda is my favourite. I've used the Supro Trem too, both at the end of my chain. This is a common problem. So tremolo, not loud enough. Because obviously, even though, Dan has explained this before on the show, even though the peak of your sound is the same, you're removing half of it. So it seems like there's less of it.
Yeah, it's a psychoacoustic result of, even though the amplitude is the same width, there's the same amount of amplitude, because half the signal isn't there, you sort of feel it.
Yeah.
It's not loud enough. It's really, really interesting.
So it depends what kind of sound you're using as well. So if you're using a very overdriven sound, obviously the difference between the striking peak of the note and how it decays is less significant than were you using a really clean sound. So if you're using a clean sound, then the decay on the note is so much quicker.
Yeah.
That would be quite hard to deal with. So on one hand, a clean sound might sound audibly louder in the attack part of the note, but is going to die away much quicker. Secondly, the overdriven sound is going to sound more even through its decay because it's overdriving, it's sustaining more. So there might be a different solution for both of those scenarios.
Yeah.
But other than boost it, there's no other way to make it louder.
Yeah. And making sure that the amps have headroom as well.
Yeah.
Right, Fat Cow says, hi from Melbourne, Australia. Question for Dan. Have you tried miking up your THR-10 for recording? Love the show, guys. Thanks for everything you do. I haven't. So the THR-10 is a stereo amp. And so I need to have two different mics for it. Yeah, so not really. But I do, sat down noodling with that thing is just awesome. It sounds so good at the lower volume thing, and the stereo thing just gives it this width. It's really they've done a really, really great job. It's a great little practice amp. Thank you, Ben. That's very kind. Thank you, buddy.
There is a question here asking about a Z-Rec Junior, Dr. Z. I'm trying to find out how powerful it is.
The normal Z-Rec.
Z-Rec Junior is... Oh, it's 2884s. It's loud. 15 watts. Loud, loud, loud. So the question is from Jonathan Burton, says he's got a classic country gig to play. He's got a Z-Rec Junior, but maybe he needs a different amp for loud, clean country. Cali Tweed or a deluxe reverb, not a twin because I want to use it for other stuff. If I've never played a Z-Rec Junior, but if it is 15 watts EL84s, it's going to have every bit as much headroom as the deluxe reverb.
Apparently it's 18 watts.
18 watts, yeah. I mean, and Z's...
Yeah, thank you, Ryan Ward.
Every Z I've played has been loud. Really loud. They remind me of matchless amps in their kind of power delivery.
But they're not necessarily clean, though, the Z's.
No,
They've
but...
got the hair on them.
So it depends what kind of gig it is. If it's a modern gig on a modern stage, then that amp's going to be way loud enough because you're not allowed to play loud anymore.
Sure.
But if you really, really do want to play loud, the Cali Tweed definitely doesn't have any higher headroom. Deluxe Reverb, I don't think would have higher headroom. So, yeah.
Conan 1980 says Dan's face on the frozen screen is priceless. Next week's thumbnail is already made. So apparently we got frozen face.
It's because my phone tells me the battery's dying.
Oh, okay.
We're back up again. So yeah, Jonathan, if you need louder than a Z-Rec Junior, louder and cleaner, probably most of the other Mesa amps that aren't the Cali Tweed that have a clean channel tend to have a lot of headroom. Lone Star, Two Rock Studio Pro 35, loud as pigs.
Awesome.
Loud as pigs.
Are they still making those?
No, that would be second hand, so it would be the studio signature, but they're
Right.
a lot of money. That's headroom, that is.
Yeah.
Deluxe reverb. Is there anything between a deluxe reverb and a twin reverb? There's the super reverb, but that's too much to carry around. Hot Rod DeVille, pretty decent clean sound.
Yeah. That's a lot to carry around, though.
Morgan.
2x12, you mean?
Huh?
The 2x12?
Yeah. I would have thought the Z-Rec's going to be okay.
Yeah. Just make sure that the master volume was all the way up, and there you go.
Yeah.
Voodoo Highway Band says, he says, for Dan, I have a Beano Boost Mini on the way, using it with a gained up Marshall Plexi. What setting do you recommend using? Also, can it replace an EP booster and Tube Screamer Mini on my board? It won't replace the EP booster. The EP booster is something very specific. Or the Tube Screamer Mini, actually, no. It's a very different thing. So if you're using a gained up Marshall, it will sound great straight into the front of the gained up Marshall. Just turn the volume up to taste. You've got a couple of different EQ and EQ settings. You've got a bright switch for how bright you want it to be, but then you also have some EQ settings with the bottom end, basically different capacitor values, either letting a small amount of bottom end through or more bottom end through. So it's just about, it's really difficult to get the sound of those things wrong. It's just finding the amount of bottom end that you want to use and turning it up until it does the job. But yeah, it's very, very different than either of the other two pedals. And it'll work well with them. It'll give you a very different sound.
Cool. Ben Butterworth, loved last week's episode, very inspiring. 633 amps, are they really that good? Serious boredom and gas in lockdown, not easy to try. 633 amps, very beautifully made British boutique valve amp, just gloriously made thing. Once you're into that world of handmade, point-to-point beauty, it's, a question of personal preference at that point. Certainly in terms of quality, they're all really lovely.
Yeah.
Kirk Fletcher was using them for a minute there, wasn't he, I think?
Yeah. Didn't he do his whole album with one of those amplifiers?
Yeah. Yeah.
And his albums, the sound of the album is incredible.
Yeah, everyone I've heard has sounded great. But then, Rift amps, all these hand-wired things usually sound pretty spectacularly good. But you do need to try it, Ben. You need to try it.
Yeah.
I think. So, Dan, we're...
Music says, yes, they are. Cliff is a genius. Yeah, they're very good. Cool. Casey Chovanak says, what the heck happened to Dan's love of the timeline? Have you bonded with something else or just giving it a little bit of a break? Have I bonded with something else? So there are some other delay pedals that I absolutely love the sound of. There's the Echo, what's it called? The big white one from
Ecosystem. Ecosystem from...
Ecosystem, the Ecosystem, which is absolutely magic. And also, there's the guys that they used to work at Strymon. They went out and started making their own pedals. Anyway, there's been a couple of things that I really like. I think
Damage
the
control.
timeline, I recorded with that loads, and when I was playing with Tin Spirits, and that delay actually became part of the sound of the albums, and I kind of couldn't play without it. But I don't know, now that band is finished, I kind of wanted to do something else, because I do love my delay, and I want to just start experimenting with some different things. And I really, really got back into tape in a big way. So because I don't need tap tempo or presets or anything like that, I'm really happy with 2 or 3 really magic sounding delays, and just switching between them and stacking them. Yeah. Hope that answers your question, Casey.
Yes,
But it's a killer. It's still killer. Absolutely killer.
And you would say if you only had one all-rounder, do-it-all delay, it would probably be that?
Absolutely. If I had to just one delay pedal that would do a whole bunch of things. There's nothing I can't get that timeline to do. I know it really well. I've used it for so long. I can make that thing, turn circles on its head, but just, wanted to try something a bit different. But yeah, they're fantastic. The Merest Polymoon. Thank you, David Hummingbird. Yes, that's the other one. Just Merest pedals in general have blown my mind. They sound so good. And the reverb pedal, oh man. It's like listening to, when I first plugged in the I'm trying to remember the name of the reverb pedal, but when I first plugged it in, it was like hearing not an Eventide. What's the big studio reverb of the 80s? Lexicon. It's like hearing a Lexicon for the first time. It's really, really cool.
Groovy. I think, Daniel, it is 7 p.m.
Yeah, I've got a keyboard to fix and a video to finish editing.
Yes. So look out for a video tomorrow from us, hopefully around midday, but if not from midday, later in the day, where there'll be, it will feature Joey Landreth and Andy Timmins, among others.
Can you believe that?
Not really. Not really. And then somebody else asked here, how are you getting on with the gem? Says, can't find it. Sorry. So annoying. There must be a better way to do this. It was Bad Motivator. Says, how are you getting on with the gem? I've got to use the gem tomorrow for something. That's what I'm doing. So all will be revealed. Cool. Thank you, David Burke. Good luck and stay safe, boys. Well, we would echo that sentiment to everybody out there.
Yeah.
Hope this COVID thing is improving for all of you, and we ease our way out gently. I'm not going to say any more than that.
Yeah.
We can have a positive outlook, perhaps.
Yes. Just got to be cautious, and you can be cautious and optimistic.
I think so. Story of my life, Dan.
Justin Stoodley says, good night, it's 4:05 here in the Blue Mountains, Australia. I've missed the Blue Mountains. A lot of fun there. It's a lovely, beautiful, beautiful place in Australia. Cool. Okay, yes, everyone, take care. All of our thoughts and love and everything with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, yeah.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Friday.
Bye, people.
And we'll see you next Monday.
See you later.
We'll be here. Bye.
Bye.